Hi, I'm Mr. Douglas. I'm here to talk to you about the options your son or daughter would have in sixth form for physical education. Okay, so first of all, on the level 3 course, there are 3 different options that your son or daughter could choose. They're all based around BTEC National and Sport. However, we do have offered a single course, which is the extended certificate. That's 8 periods over 2 weeks, and that's equivalent to 1 A level. We then have the double, which is the diploma, which is worth equivalent to 2 A levels, and that's 16 periods over 2 weeks. And we also have the triple, which would be if your son or daughter decided they definitely want to do something sporty and all they wanted to do when they came back to sixth form and beyond is sport, then that is a course that we could offer because they wouldn't have to do any other additional A levels alongside that. The other option we've got is, unfortunately, if your son or daughter wasn't to get their English and maths, then they would have to come back probably on a level 2 course. What that would mean is they could do the level 2 sports activity leaders course. That would allow them to do that alongside the course, alongside the maths and the English. And what that would ultimately mean is after the year, if they get the maths and English, they can move on to these courses up here. Okay, so I'll quickly go through the national in sport. So as I've said, there is the 1, 2 or 3 A level equivalent. Now, the massive benefit of doing BTEC over A level is a lot of the course, A, is coursework based. So the fact that coursework based students can keep going over the course, they can learn those skills, which is great for when they move on to university. So for the first course, we have 50% of this qualification is externally assessed. That is one exam. That exam is based on all the anatomy and physiology content that they would need to learn. So they have to learn the content, which again is a great skill for them to do, preparing them for university. They then have a controlled assessment on different principles and all the various aspects around sport. And that would be a long exam, but they would have the content that can go into it, so it's slightly different from an exam. And again, it's really good at interpreting data. Obviously, if they move on to these qualifications, as we said, it's longer time on the course, they obviously have to do more units. So on the single, they'd only have to do 4 units. For the double award, they'd have to do 10 units and 3 external exams, so they'd have another controlled assessment. And obviously, the final one is 14 units, and they have to do 4 external assessments. So it really depends what works, but the massive benefit of BTEC over A level is if they were to sit one of these external exams, and they don't get the merit or distinction that they would want, they do have a chance to resit it. Well, obviously, if they did the A level, they'd spend 2 years learning the course content, and if they don't get the grade that they need, that would be the grade they get at the end of the course. That is the massive benefit of BTEC, as well as learning the skills that they would need for university and beyond. As I've said, unfortunately, if they don't get their English and maths, they can come back on the level 2 course. This one, again, is a really good course for them developing that understanding of how to prepare for sixth form. It does have a good transition between what is their current year 11 and moving into the sixth form option choices there. So this is a really good course, and as I said, it does give them that understanding to move on, which many of our students have done this year. They've moved from that level 2 course onto the level 3 the following year. Alongside these courses, they can take part in the football programme. There's a netball programme as well, hopefully next year, that they can take part in. What happens is they have 3 training sessions a week with the next city coach. It comes in to do all those bits and pieces alongside it. They have 1 game a week, obviously as soon as COVID allows us to go out and play those fixtures. They will take part in the league, and they'll play against teams such as Bournemouth, Plymouth, Bristol Rovers, etc. So we'll travel to away games and to home games, and obviously play those different academies from those schools as well. Now, in terms of the question which we always get asked is, can students do the BTEC and still go on to university? Absolutely 100%. We have had many students who have done the course who've gone on to A level and beyond, and we've actually had some students who have come back here to do teaching and to do various bits and pieces in terms of coaching at our schools. So 100%, it doesn't stop them, it just gives them that advantage if they are one for retaining information and having that memory to remember 2 years worth of course. It does give them a massive benefit over an A level course. They can go into various different industries, from the fitness industry, education, any leisure activity that they want to do. This course does really encapsulate quite a lot of those different activities. Now, obviously, if you have any questions, we only had a short period of time today. Obviously, they can come and find myself, Mr. Douglas, or you can contact me at the school, and the other person to contact is Mr. Coppard. He was the Deputy Head of Faculty at Timworth, and obviously, if you email then, he does the football development programme, and we'll be able to go over any of these courses with you. So if you have any questions, please contact either of us. Thank you.